Hi guys, welcome back. I am Stu and this is Crater Lake for Roller Coaster Tycoon Classic. A large lake in an ancient crater is the setting for this park. Your objective, to have at least 1300 guests in your park at the end of October year 3 with a park rating of at least 600. Quite an easy goal then. 1300 guests in 3 years is very achievable. Let's look at the park then. What have we got? Free entry, so we're going to be charging for rides. We've got train, river raft. We've got a couple of gentle rides. Nothing, not a lot though. Look at the coasters then. We've got wooden coaster, mine trains. We've got a few. I might have a go at one of these. I don't think I've ever tried one of them, so I'm going to have a go at that later on. A few thrill rides. I wouldn't mind some more of them. Some water rides. I don't usually like them, but we might have a play with them. And some shops. We've got a kiosk. We've got food and drink. That's great. I think what I'll do then, I'll put all my research into thrill rides. And then let's have a look. Don't let the water put you off. Water's flat, so it's not going to be that much more difficult than if we were building onto flat land. I think what I'm going to do then, I'm going to just build a path all the way down the middle. I'm going to do an 8x8 system, and I'm going to use then my thrill rides, my gentle rides, any flat rides what we have are going to go in the middle of these 8x8s, and then we can use our tracked rides then to go on the outside. I think we had a train, so that might be cool to have a train station up here going around the outside. That's something that we can do later on in the game once we've got a tidy amount of money coming in. But yeah, I think this would be quite an easy scenario. Maybe we can have a bit of fun doing some things that we don't normally do, trying some rides that we wouldn't normally do. So I don't think we're going to be chasing numbers, so we should do it quite easily. So I'm going to carry on building and I'll see you in a bit. It is October year 1, so I've built my paths all the way down here. What I did was I started off, I built an 8x8 grid, and then I built this twist then, and I built the paths, the exit and the entrance paths, and then I saved the design with the paths all the way around it. And then all I did then was I just built the twists then all the way down, and then once I was finished then I deleted the twists and it left the paths behind. So that just made it easier to build the rest of the rides. Things like the observation tower, that's on the same footprint, so I don't have to worry about the entrance and exit paths. That lines up perfectly. 3D cinemas, they all lined up as well, so that was fine. The only ones I had to play about with were the inverted ships, pirate ships. Go-kart there, I haven't seen the rating yet. Oh, that's not bad for such a small ride. 4s, that's good. We've got a couple of Enterprise here. I like the way they both tilt up like that. Spent a ton of cash. I'm maxed out on my loan, but the money is starting to come in now, 2,500, just from thrill rides and general rides. Still got a few more that we haven't used. We haven't used motion simulators, we haven't used the roto drop or the bumper boats, and we've got plenty of space to add some of those in. For year 2 then, I am going to need to start building some coasters just to earn a little bit of money. No, I'm quite happy with what we've done so far. We need 1,300 guests, and we've got more than half of that. So we're doing really well. Year 2 is normally a bit of a struggle because the park is still quite small. The rides are getting on a bit, and a lot of the guests that came at the beginning of year 1 starting to leave, and then once we get into year 3, then we normally the guest numbers normally ramp up considerably, and we normally hammer it. Oh, error there. I put a banner down when I was playing about with the rides, just because I was going to delete it, make sure no one got drowned, and I forgot to get rid of that. What if I leave that like that? What will happen is these guests here, they're heading for it, but they can't find it, so they're going to get lost. So as soon as I get rid of that now, they'll all start piling in. So that's probably why my rating has taken a bit of a dip. I should go back up now, and the money should go back up because I've got 2 inverter ships running as opposed to 1. Got loads of space for shops, so I could put some there, a few there, and then the plan is to have the roller coasters then coming off the edges. And where I've got the gap there's a too high gap, so that should be enough, to build, so we can have roller coasters going underneath these tracks. I think that'll be quite exciting. So I'm going to crack on with year 2 then. I think I'm going to finish off this path, and then we can crack on with the roller coasters. It is October year 2, so I finished off the paths then, added a little Cheshire Cats ride here. It's not very good, but some guests are going on it. We got some roto drops just up here. We researched some shops, so I filled some of those gaps in, and then at the end then we've got a good dinghy slide. Guests are loving that. Trick with these is have some dips and some hills going up, but remember to close them when you're going up, just so the guests don't fall off and die. It's quite handy. Having said that, I have drowned quite quite a few guests accidentally by deleting paths when I shouldn't have, and one or two handymen by putting them down in the water instead of on the paths. Had a go with one of these steeplechases as well. Just didn't really know what I was doing, just going up. Let's have a watch then. Just going up, it goes up the chain lift, and then we'll watch this one here. Just some dips and some bends. Nothing too complicated. Little raise there. Back around and then back to the station. It was quite a good excitement. High fours I think it was. But then when I built the stations, I'd built them in slightly the wrong place. And what I've done here is I've tried to get them lined up with the handyman zoning system. So if you look, there's the he's a random, but I'll just overlay that just so you can see it. So this one here is 4 wide, so that's lined up to that grid there. I had it slightly over, and that's going to really mess up all the rides that I'm going to put down. So I got rid of them, and then I rebuilt them then after saving them a little bit higher up, and that gave it a bit more excitement as well. So all in all, with the synchronization 5.77, which I was really surprised at, because I haven't really put much effort into the design. I'm sure we can get a much higher rating than that if we really tried. So yeah, that's pretty much it for year 2. I built a little. Was it broken down? Yeah, train's broken down. I built the station here and just did a little quick loop, simply so that we've got a placeholder station. Eventually I did want to have a train going all the way around, but this way then it's there just so that I don't build anything to block it. So yeah, that's where I'm up to. When I'm building the rides off the paths here, the coasters and things, I'm going to go an extra block out on the paths, and the reason for that is that when I get a handyman, plonk him down there, and then I'll start him on this one, so that when he comes back he can go up and down the entrance path, and he only goes on this one wide path here. He doesn't go into the middle. So I'm going to crack on with building. We've already passed the goal, 1300 guests, that's no problem, so we're going to smash this. I'll see you in October for the final park and the tour. It is October year 3. We've got just under 1500 guests. The scenario wanted 1300 with a park rating of 600 plus. So we've beaten the scenario then. We just need to wait a couple of weeks until the date. It's broken down. Had some issues with the video, so this will be the 3rd time I'm trying to wrap this video up. The first time the sound and video were out of sync. The second time I ran out of space, so this is the 3rd time we're going to do it now. Okay, so when we opened up the game then, we only had a lot of water in the middle of the crater, nothing else. So what I did was I built this bit of land up here and then sloped the land up slightly. Reason for that is because what I wanted to do was, if I plonk this handyman down, you can see the path there. So here's the edge of the grid, comes right up to there. You don't need to worry about zoning people underground, because they can't puke or they can't drop litter underground, so that's fine. So then I built a twist and I built a path around it, saved that design, and then spammed it all the way down, then deleted the twists, and I was left with the paths all the way down through the middle of the park. Even though it's on water, it's still pretty much flat, so there's no problems there. You've got the little rocks there, but that's fine. I decided to go 2 up from the water in order to have some space to go underneath if need be for coasters and whatever. So after filling the paths full of flat rides, then I decided to start making coasters, and I wanted to try ones that we wouldn't normally build. So here then we've got the steeplechase. I was very surprised with how high the excitement came back. I honestly thought it would be a lot harder to make an exciting ride with this. It just goes up and back down and around and down a bit more and around a bit more and back to the station. Nothing complex there. Good excitement though. Got a mini coaster here. Again, good excitement. I was afraid that they was going a bit slow, so I didn't think the excitement would be that high. So what I was going to do is I was going to save the design, build a mirror image next to it, and then raise the chain lift in order to get it to complete the circuit faster, hoping that would be more exciting. But when the results came back, they were quite exciting anyway, so I didn't bother changing it. We've got some inverted hairpin coasters here. So there's two different designs, and they sort of weave in and out of each other. With these ones, what I like to do, I like to have the dips, and then before going around the corners, I like to have it going back up, so that the way then it's not going as fast around the corners. High intensity on these though, but high excitement as well, so the guests are loving these. Just this side then, we've got this mini suspended coasters. Similar with these, they go up, they go around, and then they dip, and then they go back around. You know, there's nothing complex with them. They're not even going that fast, but good excitement on them. Yeah, they where there is quite a large dip, the bends are all quite wide. If they were too tight, then you'd have some high intensity, but they're nice and wide, so it takes a lot of the speed off. So by the time they come back to the chain lift to go back up to the station, they're going quite slow, and then that chain lift acts as kind of like a brake as it slows down on the hill. We extended the train then, going all the way round, and that comes up through these two there. So we've got a pair of wild mouse. I'm not sure what the plural of wild mouse is. Is it wild mice, wild mouses, wild meese? Who knows? But good excitement on these, and we've completed it. And we get to enter the name as well. Fantastic. Stu wasn't sure if he was going to let us. But yeah, so it goes up and down. Again, when it goes around the corners, it goes up a little bit just to take a bit of speed off. Intensity is high, but so is the excitement. So the guests are loving that. Got a dinghy slide there. Got some dips, and then it goes up. With these, you've got to watch that when you're going up, they're not going too fast, or they will fly off the track. One way of ensuring that they don't fly off the track is that when you've got a raised section, just like this bit here, it goes down and then up, you've got a complete pipe. That way then, the worst they do is smash their head on the top of the pipe, but that doesn't matter. They can do that all day long. It won't take the excitement off. That's great. Yeah, so that was Crater Lake then. Oh, I'll tell you what I did do is, in order to ensure I could put my name in again after the trouble we had with the video, was I built this lay down coaster. First time I built it, it was going way too fast through the element here, and that had really high lateral G's. So what I did then is I put a brake just there, set that 4 miles per hour. So what happens now is, you can see the speed on there. That brake, as it's going down the hill, the brake is pulling on the car, so it can't speed up until it goes past it. That way then it's not going as fast around the elements, and the lateral G's aren't as high, but the excitement is pretty good. So the guests are quite slow to realise we've got a new ride over here. But yeah, so that was Crater Lake. All in all, this tier not as good as some of the other tiers we've played, although the scenario goals have been more diverse. It just feels that we've gone slightly backwards with the difficulty level. I don't know, it's or maybe it's just this one scenario. I mean, it wasn't too bad. It's just the fact that I am looking for something a bit more challenging at this point, but yeah, it was hopefully the rest of the scenarios in the tier will be more challenging. So I am Stu. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Any questions or feedback, drop them in the comments. If you want me to look at anything in more detail, let me know, and I'll have a look. So until the next video, see you soon. Bye.